In this series, we are discussing how to grow schools' population. In part 1, we looked at the research conducted by McKinsey International and The Economist magazine. And the research came to the conclusion, that there is one factor that stands out, that any school that wants to grow its population, maintain that growth, and continue to grow must take very seriously. And as we discussed in the part 1, that factor is the quality of the teacher. In part 1, we went into details as to what can be done to make sure that we do not just have high quality teachers, but that they remain high quality teachers. We looked at two things in part 1. Number one is the employment policy of the school, which we discussed in details. And number two is the training and retraining policy of the school, which we also discussed in details. Today, we are going to be looking at the third point, which is the onboarding policy of the school, as well as the fourth point, which is staff motivation. My name is Uchenna Ezugu. I am an educational consultant. What is onboarding? Onboarding is the process of integrating new employees into an organization or an institution. Every organization has its culture or should have its culture. Every organization should have values for which they are known. And every organization should have a standard operating procedure, the way they do things. And so, when you are bringing in an employee, take for instance from school A to school B. School B, where the employee from school A is entering, is supposed to first of all educate that person who is moving into their school on their culture, their values, and their SOP. Because the culture of school A might not be the same thing with your culture. Their values might not be the same thing with your values. Their SOP might not be the same thing with your SOPs. And if you do not educate the person on your culture, values, and SOPs, you expect that the person will come and behave the way he or she was behaving in the former employment. And there may not be an alignment between the way they do things over there and the way you do things. So what you have is a conflict. In the case of a teacher, you have a conflict in the classroom. And when students go home that day, they will tell their parents, we have a new teacher, he's teaching XYZ, but this is the way he's behaving. These are the things that he's doing, and this is not how we do things in our school. As a matter of fact, we don't understand. Or, yes, this person is behaving far better than all the teachers that we have in our school. And this and that and that. So is that positive or negative? But what is clear is that they are not the same. And so there is need for a serious onboarding. And so onboarding simply tries to bring that person to shelve the mindset he already has and his experiences as much as possible, and to imbibe your own way of doing things. Onboarding in some organizations is a one-day affair. In some other organizations, it takes 3 days. In some, 4 days. I know a school that has a 3-year onboarding process. 3 years. A teacher who is already confirmed after 6 months continues to go through onboarding until that teacher is 3 years old in that school. If I have time, I'll tell you what they do in this long period of time. But what is clear is that any school that has a name attached to it and that has a face should not employ somebody today and throw the person into the classroom immediately. Don't do that. Conduct an onboarding exercise. You don't know what to do, you don't know how to do it, let it be a one-day affair. You have the time in your hands, let it be a minimum of 3 days affair. And if possible, give it 4 days. What do you do in these days? The first day will just be to address the issue of culture. You talk to the person, tell the person everything you have concerning the culture of your school. In the process, you also listen to the person. If he has anything against what you are saying, let him feel free to let you know. And then you discuss it. And then the new staff goes out to experience the school, keeping in mind what he has heard about the school culture. The second day, you pick up the values of your schools and you do the same thing. Sit the person down, talk about it, and then the person goes out to experience. And then the standard operating procedures for everything, including preparation for lessons, including delivering the lessons itself, including assessment and evaluation, and so many other things that you do in your school. And then you do that on the third day, and then the person goes out to also experience firsthand about these SOPs that you have talked about, how they are lived in real life. Then the fourth day becomes just a day for discussion between the person and relevant supervisors or relevant managers or the owner of the school, as the case may be. What will they be discussing? They will be discussing the person's view of your culture as against what you told him. So you have said XYZ. He has gone to see. Was that what he saw? If it was what he saw, good and fine. If it was not, what did he see? Or what did she see? And then you discuss it in details. Then the second one, you have told him XYZ about your values. And then he goes out and then he has seen things. Ask him. You have told him XYZ about your processes. And then he goes out and then he sees. Ask him. Then after that detailed discussion, what you find is a man or a woman who is already feeling as if he's 10 years old in your school because he knows you much more than he knew you 3-4 days ago. So if he's entering your classroom, he already knows what he's permitted to do and what he's not permitted to do. If he's interacting with your students, the same thing. If he's in the staff room, he's not a stranger to anything. If he carries your lesson, if you assign him a notebook to write note of lesson, for instance, he already knows what the structure is and how to go about it. And so it gives him that sense of belonging, that sense of ownership. And then in the end, you have a staff that is engaged, a staff that is highly productive. These are for new people in brief. How about existing staff who are not measuring up? You do onboarding for your existing staff. If you want to change your culture, you want to change your values, you want to change your standard operating procedures. If many schools don't have at all, that is the truth. And if they have, it is just in the head of the managers or the head of the owners, and so nothing is written down. So if you don't have at all, it is not written down, and you have written them down, then you have to do an onboarding to bring your staff from where they are to where we want them to be. This is what we used to have as our culture. But right now, this is the culture we want you to live. These are the values, and then this is the expected. These are the procedures, and this is the expected. So you also take time. This can be done during the holidays, for instance, usually in preparation for beginning of a new term and beginning of a new session. And then you take 3-4 days during the holidays or mid-term break to have a detailed discussion, if your midterm is 1 week, to have a detailed discussion with your staff on the existing staff on the expected culture, values, and procedures. Some of the things that you arrive at might require you having some sessions with your students and with their parents also. But what's important is that you cannot keep doing things the old way if it is not giving you maximum results. And this is very, very important. Sometimes you might need the help of a consultant to look into your existing culture, your existing values, your existing procedures, see how they align with your mission and the vision, and also to look into the reality and see how what is on paper aligns with what is real. Because your values, your custom, your culture, your procedures is not what you have on paper, it is what is lived. And so the experts might need to do surveys on students, surveys on staff, surveys on parents, aggregate them, and then tell you where you are. It's like showing you a mirror, and then you are seeing yourself exactly the way you are. That way, you have a standard procedure, you have a way of doing things that will take you to where you want to be, and that will move your teachers from point A to point B, and your school will be the best for it. The second and the fourth and the last one is motivation. When I talk motivation, I am not talking money. Money is very, very important. But I do know for sure that most of the time, employees leave their employment not because they are poorly paid, but because they are not valued by their supervisors, by their managers, by the owners of the organizations they work, including schools. I've experienced it. I once left a school for another school on the same salary, a less beautiful school on the same salary. Why? Because people talk down on teachers, managers, supervisors, the owner of the school talk down on teachers. In meetings, they are spoken to as if they are trash, no values. I wasn't treated that way because they believed in what I was doing one way or the other. I can't say why really, but I was not treated that way. But I left because I tried the best I could to change the atmosphere, which was so very caustic. But I couldn't do anything. So, because of my peace of mind, I had to leave. And so, do you value your staff? How do you know? There's only one way to know. Do a value on a survey on your staff. That's the only way to know. Do a survey on them. If you don't know how to do it, get a consultant to do a survey on your staff. That way, he's able to come up with concrete facts about how they feel concerning their work. This is so important because the way they feel concerning their work, concerning their managers, concerning the institution, concerning the owner of the institution affects the way they work, whether we like it or not. If they are not happy with these levels, they will not be happy with the children they are teaching. They will not work with all their mind. They will be doing what you call cash and carry, whether you like it or not. That is the reality. But if they are happy because they are valued, they will die for you, irrespective of what you are paying them. And it is very, very important that we do this survey, that we know where we stand on this value system, and that we begin to value workers. When they do well, what to do is actually very simple. You see a staff who is doing very well, pat the person at the back. Guy, you are great. You are great. And then allow him to go. But even better is to say to him, you are great because you did XYZ. That way he knows that you have a sense of detail and that you appreciate this aspect of him. You cannot compare this to a situation where you just say you are good or you are bad. People cannot be either good or bad. Every single human being on the face of the earth has the good sides and the bad sides. And so if you separate the good from the bad, acknowledge the good and correct the bad, people will not feel bad as when you label them as bad or just as good. This is very, very important. If you value your staff, they will give you their best. And if they give you their best, students will be happy. Their parents will be happy. They will bring in more people. And when they bring them in, they will experience what those ones that brought in are experiencing. They will be happy, they will stay, they will bring more, and then you have what is called sustainability. You're able to sustain and you're able to continue to impact society, to impact lives, and to be better even for yourself and for your staff. So when you do these four things, you can be sure that you have top-rate teachers. And when you have top-rate teachers, you automatically have a top-rate school. In our next video, we should be looking at the second point listed by McKinsey International and the Economist magazine as the second greatest factor that helps to grow students' population in school. See you, and please remember to like, to share, and to subscribe. This video, the next one, will come out in less than a week's time. Thank you, as I look forward to being with you again.